Hi, this is Biedron. I'm here today with Tyler Cartner. As an actor, I of course have a relationship with sound and the sound mixer. I would like to ask you, what do you feel about actors? Why are they mentioned as meat puppets some occasions? And some difficulties you can have when capturing audio from actors.
Okay. Well, I think as a production sound mixer, you actually have to have a fairly intimate relationship with the actors, because I have to get to know the character of your voice. I have to work with you about maybe some physicalities that you're doing that's making it hard for me to capture good audio.
Like that?
Yeah, like touching your chest or whatever. If we have to rely on a lav mic for that particular scene, but you want to touch your chest, I need to let you know that you can't, and remind you, because a lot of times actors get caught up in acting.
Of course.
Which is what you should be doing. So. So we have a relationship in that way. It's also, wardrobe. A lot of times an actor will want a specific piece of wardrobe, but that wardrobe is very challenging because it's noisy. Sometimes the wardrobe is noisy enough, polyester, crunchy plastic or whatever, and there's definitely a wardrobe stylist who makes those decisions, but a lot of times actors want to have some input on their wardrobe as well. In the conversation, for example, Harrison Ford picked out his own wardrobe. Just a random fact, but it's a really funny and interesting wardrobe that he chose for himself. But sometimes certain fabrics are noisier than others. So yeah, working with actors as a sound person, and we have to hide lav mics on you guys all the time. So that it can be a more personal, intimate. A lot of times, especially with women, with a male mixer, I have to find out what their comfort level is, and if they're wearing a dress that's tighter or more provocative, I have to figure out how to hide the wireless transmitter in such a way for that particular scene, or if they're going to be laying down in the scene and making sure the pack's on the opposite side, but it doesn't show on camera, and so it's fairly complicated. It's a dance between the actors and the sound mixer and everybody else on set as well. But the whole meat puppet thing is just, as far as from a technical perspective of camera, sound, or whatever, the actor is really important. Your performance is important. But as far as I'm concerned, I want good, clean production audio. So you, in that sense, are a meat puppet.
It's a living set piece.
You're a living set piece.
That needs to be fed every once in a while.
That's right.
Yeah.
And sometimes I will argue with you and say, do you have to shout so loud during the scene? I can't get my mic far enough away.
Do you have to rustle? Do you have to mumble?
You have to rustle, you have to mumble.
Do you have to speak over that person's line? I can't get clean audio on both.
That's right.
Or how about, you mentioned a little bit earlier, capturing audio from, a child or a woman with a higher frequency versus, an older man maybe with a lower voice. Are there certain adjustments you need to make for mixing for this?
Yeah, in fact, as far as capturing different, vocal qualities and that kind of, I was putting a microphone on someone recently that, I thought there was something wrong with the microphone, honestly. I had a lav mic on a woman, and it turns out she had emphysema.
Oh.
And so the quality of her voice closer to her chest was very different than what it sounded like to me or you. But the lav mic was picking up just sort of a strange internal sound that the lav was unusable, and there's nothing I could do about it. So we had to rely on, in that case, we had to make sure that we could boom. So make sure that there's no boom shadows, which is always an issue.
You out of frame all the time,
Right. The boom's out of frame. Can we get the microphone close enough to her mouth to pick her up? Because maybe, she also didn't speak very loudly. And sometimes, you have to say, can you speak more loudly or whatever. So, and see if that's okay. Because really, as an actor, it's your choice to give the performance that you give, and whether or not you're willing to work with confines, and some aren't, and that's perfectly valid.
What about if you have multiple actors, like you're trying to capture audio from, I guess, a mob? A lot of this would be done in post and Walla Walla or what have you, but some difficulties you had mentioned, like capturing dancers, how do you get, dialogue without the stomping of the feet.
Yeah, well, they actually make foam that sticks to the bottom of shoes.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, so it basically makes it silent if you're walking or dancing on a hard floor. So, or if the actor's feet or the background talent, if their feet are not touching or not in the frame, then you can have them wear socks and that kind of thing. And so, if you want them to be having a conversation or look like they're talking and partying or whatever, then they're just moving their lips. Exactly right. So and so in post you would add the crowd scene or whatever. And I think that was kind of famously done in the movie about Facebook. What was that movie called?
Social Network.
Social Network. They did a great scene where they're in a club and there's people moving around and dancing and doing all that kind of stuff. And all those people were completely silent. And the other thing that I found really fascinating is they had ear monitors. The actors had ear monitors that were playing really loud music. And so they were speaking up, and that's the other thing. The director had to keep them talking loudly because you talk like this, you're talking over the music. You want to talk to this, so you have to have the actors give a performance like that to simulate as if it's loud in the background, so it sounds right in the mix when they add the club music and the vocals.
Oh, very interesting.
It can be challenging.
Well, thank you, Tyler, for all your time today. I appreciate it.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank what?
What?
Music's loud.
What?
We'll have that in post.